Lionesses 17, South Africa 0. We've beaten the hosts in their own country. We've won the second tournament in a row. We're top of the table, 40 points, full points, after 2 tournaments. This recap is brought to you by MPESA. Send money anywhere in the world to over 170 countries, to multiple banks all over the world, to Western Union, through MPESA Global. And just the way MPESA has your back, MPESA are the proud sponsors of the Lionesses in Cape Town. And they've done us proud. They've done us so proud. This is just amazing. Like, it's normally hard, umetoka tournament, umeshinda tournament ya last, alafu unaingia tournament ya next, and you're trying to carry that momentum because everyone knows you're a good team. So everyone is trying to bring their A game. And up until now, our first 2 games, Belgium, Uganda, tulikuwa tu hivi. Especially Uganda, we really struggled. And that game against, who did we play? Colombia, also. Hivi. This was our best game of the tournament, by far, not even close. And I would even say this is the best game of the last 8 games because we've gone unbeaten. Unbeaten in 2 tournaments. International Women's Day, we're going unbeaten on all days, including today. So that was impressive. This game, I have 3 people I want to talk about. 3 people. First of all, I need to give a shout out to South Africa because I feel like they've been so good. They bounced back from last week. But this final, we put them in places where they didn't want to be. Niliwatch game yao versus Chechi in the semi-final. Na niliwatch I think game yao moja jana. Ill discipline iliwasumbua sana na knock-ons. There are danger women out wide. What's her name? Me something. Nasa ujina yake. So wako wawili. There's Shiremba on one wing, and then there is Malinga who came off the bench. Those are the danger women. Those are the ones you need to look out for. And both of them had 2 big knock-ons that would have really, really changed the game. So they... And the one thing that South Africa suffers from, which I've seen in the last 2 tournaments over the last week or so, is that if you put them under pressure in their own area, they make mistakes. And this is where my first big shout out comes in. Dennis Mwanja. Coach Dennis Mwanja. Game plan ilikuwa simple. Tusicheze ball kwa territory yetu. Game ya Colombia ni katu kwa tumeanza kuchoka. Tunajaribu kucheza nini, phase ya pili we lose the ball or we lack ideas and the defense is in our face so we can't even kick properly. Game ilikuwa tunachapa ball. Na unajua ukikick ball, the defense normally plays with a sweeper. So it's 7 on 7 players. So you'll have a line of 6 and then you have that one person who's always just lacking behind, following the ball in case you guys kick. And sometimes they're a bit like, these guys can't kick, they'll try and run it. But the moment we kicked, that person had to be aware. That was their number 10. Their number 10 was Simas. Simas had to be aware. So that the next time we kicked again, like the threat, they know the threat is there. We'll kick from anywhere. The third kick was a very smart one because the third one came from... The first 2 kicks was when we were in our own area. But the third kick was when we had advanced a bit. Look, in the middle of the field, they really didn't expect it from Grace. And it was such a good kick. And the chase made it even better. Sharon Auma, shout out to Sharon. Sometimes the kick is only as good as the chase. You can have the best kick in the world. Unless it goes out for 50-20, it's not as a great kick. But if the chaser is there willing, Sharon alifuateo ball. Akenda kashika, we won a penalty. We cycled the ball, and then Amuguni scores in the corner to make it 5-0 to us. And that's the first major shout-out. Our coach, Dennis Mwanja, game plan was executed to perfection. First of all, game plan was good, but the execution was executed to perfection. So I need to give him credit for the game plan. As I said in the last tournament, I was really impressed by the skills, because, in rugby, it's a skill-based game. So the coaching of the skills is on point. When the ladies get tackled, they know to release the ball, get up, and then pick it up. Like, that's something that's very hard to teach rugby players. But skill set iko. Left passes iko. Iyo niliwapatia credit last week. This week nampatia credit for tactical. Ile move moja nini, I made a whole video about this move. And I've talked about the whole tournament. Na ni kama naona easy ma team zote zimewatch video zangu. Juu, wamesoma hiyo move. Team zote zimesoma hiyo move. And I said it in the recap of the last game, Colombia. When Grace comes for that short ball, Sinaida has the ball, Grace comes for the short ball. Every single time we've done it to her, and we've not given to her. And defenses have read that. I'm so happy to see, even though Grace knocked it on the line, I'm so happy to see that we actually tried to give her the ball. Because that move, you can add wrinkles to it. Grace can come short and you actually give it to her. You to make dummy the entire time. The only thing I'll say about Grace is when you're coming in that line, maybe you come from a bit deeper so that the ball comes to you in a proper fashion. I feel like by the time she was getting the ball, alikuwa flat sana ikamgonga kifua, and then she spilled it. But the line was beautiful. The line was beautiful. That move is working. And every time we do those unders lines, they work perfection to us. I just want to see now Sinaida make the decision a bit earlier. And maybe let's have whoever is, so if Grace cuts in from the, like, a bit wider, whoever is next to Sinaida now goes wide. You just bump off wide and you give that unders ball, and we finish, destroy whoever is coming at us. Anyway, Dennis Mwanja, number 1. Number 2, Judith. Hata nikifinya button wrong, haijalishi. Judith Okumu, my player of the tournament. I know Grace scored in the first a hat-trick in the first game, but my Judith would be my player of the tournament. Secondly, I'd put someone like, I'd have to put Grace top 3, but Judith and Mokaya, Sinaida, they just really picked up where Grace left off. Judith's defense has been amazing today. Actually, our defense as a team, there was a moment where Sheila was defending their fastest wing on the wing. The fastest winger on the wing, yeah. Sheila Chajira wa number 3. Anakonga kwa scrum, akita kwa winger na defend. Winger amechapa step ajaribu kwenda nje. Sheila amekaa na yeye mpaka kamtackle. And then they tried offloading it, hit Grace alafu ikatoka nje. But they defended as a team, and I'm telling you, they are so united. Before the tournament, the coach said there's team spirit, and I can promise you I've seen it. Mimi nimeiona. Iyo team spirit nimeiona. So our defense as a team was really good. Sharon Pia had moments where she had to chase back. That thing where we're drifting defense and then it's like a 2-on-1 and we're drifting, we defended those really, really well. We did not give them space down the middle. I also need to give credit to the coach again for starting Muritu over who? Christabel. Christabel didn't start. And I think you have to freshen the squad up a bit, because it's a long tournament. Game ya Colombia game kienda kusha vile ilikuwa tumechoka. Hata game ya Uganda tulikuwa tumechoka. So vile nilisema tu kwa prediction, you need to freshen the squad up so that, and it has to be, for you to do that, it has to be a team effort. Everyone has to play. Everyone has to pull their weight. Yeah. And then Fresher came off the bench. Amekuja na energy. But to me, my last big shout out is to the entire team and the way we started the second half, because to me that is where we won the game. It was 5-0 and South Africa were trying to build, but we pinned them in their area. We had big shots. Sheila, big shot. Judith, big shot. And then they knocked on from that. Malinga knocked on, and that set the tone. And from there, we went and scored the second try and scored the third. Even the try that Sharon scored, it came from this same play that I keep talking about. But then we were tackled in midfield, and then the ball was recycled. Then Sharon beat Shiremba on the wing. Shiremba didn't have a great game. The one thing I love about the women's sport is, or in the women's game, is if someone makes a mistake, like she made a mistake, Roos went to her. Like so many of her teammates went to her and told her, yo, just heads up. And that's the one thing about the women's game that's so beautiful to see, especially if you're trying to teach kids to learn the game, yeah? Like, that's what rugby is about at the end of the day. You're just trying to, you always pick the other person up. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And if you can raise the level of your weakest link, you become a better team. And I feel like she's not the weakest link, she's really good. But in this game, I could say she was, because her knock-ons were costly and it really costed them. Judith had another tackle, 1-on-1, when it was still 0-0. We had kicked long, and then our chase was not great. And I want to say it was Simas who got the ball. Simas went through, and he was coming to step. Judith akasema, I'm the smallest person on this field, but only PT. So, to me, Judith was woman of the tournament by far. Okay, not by far, but I would put her, and I would put Sinaida Mokaya there, because these three ladies just brought their A game. To be honest, everyone brought their A game, but we really defended as a team, and we pulled for each other. Amuguni helps in the middle, goes to the wing. Sheila nimesema, she's one of the big guns in the middle, but anajipata kwa wing and a defend. Sharon with her pace. Faith Livoy came off the bench and was just physical, which is what we want to see from her, because she's so big and she has long arms. So anaenda na kushika tu hivi hakuna pali unaenda, nazita long arms of the law. Ni mzee. And the impact of the bench was beautiful to watch. I can say so many beautiful things about this team. All I can say is on International Women's Day, this was beautiful. This was welcome and love it so much. So yeah, so now we're top of the table, 40 points. We qualify automatically to Poland. And from there, we need to another big performance and we qualify to LA. Then in LA, the top 4 teams from Poland, after the top Poland tournament, cumulative. So the first 2 Cape Town tournaments and the Poland tournament, the top 4 go to Los Angeles. And those top 4 now play the teams that are in the bottom 4 of the HSBC series. So those are the teams that are in the relegation area, spots. So it's not automatic relegation. You have to play to lose your spot and you have to play to earn your spot. So I feel like we can, whoever they give us, we can beat them. This team is good. This team is good. And I think we have it. So yeah, shout out to the Lionesses. Great job for winning yet another tournament, back-to-back tournaments. Going in and winning in and becoming champions as champions is always difficult. It's a mental thing as well. So wakikuja hivi lazima tukue airport. Na shout out to everyone who was on the live. Wase, tumefika Kericho.
Baba, tumepita Kericho.
I need to give a shout out to a few people. Jethro was watching straight from Bomet. Emmanuel Munene was watching straight from Qatar. Philemon Chirchir from Marakwet. Edwin Kisiero from South Sudan was on the live on TikTok. On YouTube. Nick from LD on TikTok. Joseph To from Kabete. Daniel Marsh from West Pokot. Khalid watching from Mandera. And Borini was watching from Minnesota. We had all these people on the live. And you know what's common amongst all these Kenyans is that they can send money back to their families in Nairobi using MPESA and MPESA Global. So I want to give a big shout out to them and keep watching. We will be back. Next big tournament is on the 28th of March. Shuja are playing in the Hong Kong Sevens. Then on the 5th, we go to Singapore. And then on the 11th, the Lionesses are in Poland. So yeah, it's been a great tournament. Thank you guys for being there with me. Na tupatane. Campeones, campeones, ole, ole, ole.